everyone, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the My Zone Online School. My name is Michelina Batises and I'll be gracing you with my presence and take you through to the lessons that we'll have today, as we have plenty of them. Before we do anything else, you know what to do, what it does. We're going to pull out our best friend, and that is Mr. Sanitizer. So let us remember to always sanitize and to wash our hands and to keep our social distancing. Make sure you go in all those fingers around the thumbs thoroughly. And the theme for this week remains staying calm. So do you guys know what I do when I stay calm and just want to relax? Okay, let's just dive in with me and let's do it together. And that is how I stay calm and just relax and meditate. All right, so we'll head right into it. We have Teacher Abrams, which will teach us more about counting, and this is for grade 1, week 7, lesson 4. Over to you, Teacher Abrams.
Explanation of symbols on worksheets are as follows. Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, Lesson 1, Prepositions and Directions.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Janice Abrams and welcome, my friend. The theme for today is we are still busy with houses. But before we continue with our lessons, we have to practice our social distancing and sanitizing of hands. Between the fingers. Good. Lesson 4. Counting the letter F and doubles. Let's go over to page 20. Okay, number 126. Count and color the pictures. As we can see there, it's Christmas trimmings all over on that picture. So we have to color it in colorful and neatly. How many? Write the numbers. So if we look at that pictures underneath the big picture, we have to count the trees in the picture shown above. So let's count the Christmas trees. 1, 2, 3. So how many Christmas trees are there in the big picture? 3. So we have to fill in number 3 on the line. The next picture is a Christmas wreath. How many Christmas wreaths are there? Let's quickly count in the big picture. 1. I only see 1. So we have to fill in the number 1 on the line next to the picture of the wreath. Let's go to the next picture. The next picture is a heart. Now let's count how many hearts are there in the big picture. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 hearts in the picture. So we must write the number 5 next to the heart. And so you must continue with the bulbs and the candy cane and the flower there underneath. You have to fill in how much do you see in the big picture. Let's continue with the next page, page 21. All about the letter. Can we think of a few things starting with I can think of fish, frog, and there are many things that starts with the letter. Trace the dotted lines on the letter, then write your own next to it. We start off with the capital F. As you can see, there's a solid and a dotted F. So what must you do? You must trace on the dotted lines doing the letter F. And next to the dotted F, after you've traced it, write on your own the letter F. And so you continue with the small F as well. You trace on the dotted lines and you do your own one next to it. Good. Let's continue. Write the letter F in the space below. Now, what picture is that? It is a fish. So you will see the word fish is not completed. It is incomplete. You have to fill in the letter F on the line to be able to complete the word fish. Let's go to the next part. Circle all the letter F in the word below. Now let's look at that 6 words below. The first one is first. You have to circle only the letter F, not the whole word, only the F. The second word, if. The third word, life. Then we have for, of, and fall. Remember what teacher said? You have to circle all the letter F in the word below. All these objects have the letter F in their name. Circle the F in the name, then color in the objects. Now, we can see the capital F and the small f. We have to color it in. Next to that, what picture is that? That is a flower. Color in the picture and then circle the F. Then we have a leaf. Color in the leaf and circle the F only. The last picture is a frog. color in the frog and circle only the Thank you. Let's go over to page 22. We will be busy with maths and we will continue with double. Doubles, let's quickly go to the board. To make an example of double is the following. I'm going to make use of crayons. So, if I have one crayon in my left hand, how many crayons will I have in my right hand? I will have the same amount of crayons in the right hand. So double means whatever amount you have on the one side must be on the other side as well. So if I have 2 crayons in my left hand, how many crayons will I have in my right hand? 2 as well. So 2 crayons in the left hand, 2 crayons in the right hand. How much are they together? 4. Very good. Let me make another example. I have 3 crayons in my left hand. How many crayons should I have in the right hand? 3 as well. So, 3 plus 3 will give you how much? 6. Now, let's go over to the page 22. We have the pictures of trains. So, in the first train, it is double of 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So we have to fill in the answer there at the last box of the train. Go to the second train. 2 plus 2 equals, and fill in the answer there by the box at the back of the train. And so you will continue with the rest of the sums. Let's go over to page 23. We continue with our doubles. Are you all on page 23? Good. We have pictures of insects. 1 plus 1 equals 2, and you will fill in the answer in the empty box there. 2 plus 2 equals, fill in the answer. 3 plus 3 equals, fill in the answer. And so you will continue with the other 2 sums as well. We come to the end of our lesson. But before we call on Zashi, we have to practice our social distancing and sanitizing of hands. Between the fingers. Good. Let's call on Zashi. Zashi! Bye!
Hi everyone! You can't hug your friends anymore, but you can still give yourself some love, or you can practice how to blow hugs. Mwah, 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 mwah. And until next time, Bye!
Thank you so much, Teacher Abrams. That was informative as we learned more about counting. Now we're heading directly into the grade 2 and 3, week 7, lesson 4, and that is Teacher Guriras, which will teach us about syllables and homophones. So over to you, Teacher Guriras.
Welcome to my Zone Online School. My name is Miss Isolda Guriras and I have a friend here with me. This week's theme, as you can see, we are dressed up in our special occupations, will be occupations. Before we can start with our lesson, I would like for us to take our sanitizer, sanitize our hands nicely. Always remember to keep social distance between you two. And put on your mask. The lesson will be about syllables, the U sound, and homophones. All right, I would like for us to turn to page 19, where we are going to clap and count the syllables. All right. Let us quickly look on the chalkboard. I have written here a few words. Let us read the words here. Celery. And then we have to clap the word celery. Celery. How many syllables do we have there? 3 syllables. Nay. So this is how we break the words. Celery. Good. 3 syllables. How about the word car? Let us clap the word car. Car. How many times do we clap it? It's only 1. So the car word stays the same. It's only 1 syllable. Okay, how about this one here? S-T. Let us clap it. S-T. How many times did we clap it? 2 times. And so it means we have 2 syllables. How about this one here? Camera. Let us try to clap it. Camera. All right, how many times did we clap it? 3. So it means we have 3 syllables. Camera and ra. Okay, let us quickly go back to our worksheet. Page 19. There you have few of the words I would like for you to complete by clapping the words, but you only have to write for me the number of the claps you are going to divide the words into. For example, we have done celery on the chalkboard. How about the one next to it? Exact. Let us quickly try to clap the word exact. Exact. All right. How about the one below that one? Sand. Let us quickly try to clap the word sand. Sand. Okay. Do the rest on your own. Practice by clapping out the words. And I would like for you to turn to page 20. Page 20. There we also have syllables. But now this one will be on a grade 3 level, whereby we are going to apply the rules of syllables. There you have the rules there. We have to find the words, the compound words, inside of the bigger word. Compound words are smaller words which we find inside of a bigger word, all right? And then it says also the double letters. I will explain that to you as well as the consonants. How we can break up the word using the consonant as well And then we can see how we can split some of the words by using the patterns. All right. Okay, now let's quickly look at the word doctor. I will write the word doctor here on the chalkboard. Doctor. Okay, so we have rules when it comes to breaking up of the words. It is not just about clapping out of the words. Can you still remember our vowels? Our vowels are A. Oops, that's an ugly A. Let me rewrite it again. A, E, I, O, and the U. Very good. Let me also just take this word down a little bit so that we can see nicely. Doctor. Okay, the first rule that we need to do is to count how many vowel sounds we have in the word. How many vowel sounds can you see? We have a one here, and then we have another one here. So which means by underlining the vowel sounds, we automatically know that we have to divide the word into 2 syllables. Now, and then after counting the vowel sounds, we can always use our index fingers. Point out your index fingers. Index fingers here. And then you point one index finger on the consonant sound and another one on the other consonant sound. No, I'm sorry. You have to put it on the vowel sounds that you underline. And then you move inwards with your consonant sounds, and then you divide the word between the 2 consonant sounds. Can you do that? Put one index finger on the first vowel, then another index finger on the next vowel, move inwards and divide the word where you find the 2 consonants. And now you can rewrite the word here. Dog. This consonant sound goes along with this vowel sound here. And then ter. The second consonant sound goes or runs away with the second vowel sound. So we have 2 syllables there. Let's have another one. For example, what if we have only one consonant? Pilot. Have a look here, Landre. Pilot. All right. Now we have to start off by counting the vowel sounds. How many vowel sounds do we have? 1 and 2. We have 2 vowel sounds. So we know automatically we have to divide the word into 2 syllables. But we said we normally put our little fingers, the index fingers, on our vowel sounds. We move inwards, and where we find the 2 consonants standing next to each other, that's where we divide. But in this case, we only have 1 consonant. What happens here? If we have 1 consonant only, that consonant always runs away with the second vowel. So we will have pie and let. Can you see that? If we have double consonants, each vowel sound can be accompanied by the consonant, but only if we have only 1 consonant, the last vowel goes together with the consonant. All right, let's quickly go back to our worksheet on page 20. Okay, the doctor, I've done it for you as an example on the chalkboard as well as the pilot. Now let's look at the teacher. How about teacher? Let me also explain teacher quickly here on the chalkboard. Look here quickly. Leandre, teacher. Okay, now how about this one here? How many vowel sounds do you see? 3. There are 3 vowel sounds, but remember, When we have vowel sounds standing next to each other here, it only makes or gives one sound. It only gives us one sound. So we can say these two vowels gives one sound and another one will be a second sound, a second vowel. And again, you use your little index fingers. You put the first one on the first sound, second index finger on the second one, move inwards and separate the two between the two consonant sounds, and we are going to have the word divided into two syllables like this. T, cher, ne, teacher. All right, let's quickly go back to our worksheet. Let's look at the word florist. How can we divide the word florist? You first need to count the vowel sounds and then you divide there. We only have one consonant between the O and the R. There's only one consonant. So what did we say? If we have only one consonant, one happens there. The consonant sound runs away with the second vowel sound. Okay, I would like for you to practice on your own by completing the activity. Let's move to page 21. Page 21 says we have to spell the words and then rewrite the words 2 times on the space that has been provided for you. Number 1, let us read the word up on. Like for example, when you are telling a story, you will say once upon a time or once upon in what? All right, upon. Then you spell the word U-P-O-N, up on, and then you rewrite for me the word 2 times. Let's look at number 2, thought. T-H-O-U-G-H-T, thought. You rewrite it again 2 times over. Let's move to number 3, gun. G-U-N, gun. And then you rewrite it for me 2 times. Again, I would like for you to complete the other words. First you read the word, spell the word, read it again, and rewrite it 2 times. All right, I hope you have enjoyed our previous lesson about syllables, and I hope you are practicing how to break up words. Now I would like for you to turn to page 22, and we are going to read a short story about a sup in the tub. Bob is in the tub. Bob has a sup in the tub. The sup will get wet in the tub. Bob can dip the sup in the tub. The tub will bob in the tub. The sup can go in the tub. It is fun to get a sup in the tub. Do you know what a sup is? Yes, there's a picture of a submarine. It's a shorter word for submarines, the boats that goes underwater. All right. Now let's quickly look at our instruction there. Choose and fill in the missing words. Number 1, there are 3 words that you can choose from. Bob is in a da-da-da. Where is Bob? Is he in a pen? Is he in a net? Or is he in a tub? That is correct. He is in the tub. I would like for you to complete number 2 and number 3. Let us turn to page 23. It's about the short U. Let us read at the instruction. Write repetition of initial sound to build meaningful words. Spin the spinner at the sound to make a real word. then read the words. All right, we have to make use of the words in the spinner and build words. And every time we get a word, and it has to be a meaningful word, we have to write the words on the spaces provided for us. For example, we have in the first third of the circle, we have the word un, and then in the first row, we have the letter S. If we combine the S and the un, what word will you have? That is correct. It is the sun word. Very good. I would like for you to complete the rest. Now I would like for you to turn to page 24. Now this one is for the grade 3 level. Homophones. What are homophones? Okay, the instruction is there. Homophones are words that sounds the same, but they have a different meaning, and they are also spelled differently. Okay, now we have a list of homophones for you there in that column. For example, allowed, allowed. No? And then we have ate and ate. Those are two different words, have two different meanings, but they sound the same. The ate is the past tense of eat, and the next word is the ate, which is the letter 8. Okay, I would like for you to read that on your own so that you can know the words that sound the same with different meanings. Now let us look below. Read the sentences and fill in the correct word. Okay, the words that you are supposed to fill in from is allocated for you on the right side. You're supposed to choose one word. You either encircle it or you write it at the space provided for you. Number 1, I saw a, is it going to be B, the first B or the second B on the flower? Remember, they both sound the same, but the meanings are different. So you have to choose the correct word. Number 2, the wind, the leaves. Blue or blue? Which one will be the correct one? Remember again, they both sound the same, but they are having different meanings. So you have to know the meanings of each word that you have been given. All right? And then I would like for you to practice by completing the rest of the activity on your own. All right, now we have come to yet another lesson. At the end of our lesson, I would like to thank you. And before we can close off, take your hand sanitizer. Sanitize your hands at all times. Between your fingers, around your thumbs. Remember, keep your distance. Yes, always wear your mask. And until next time, I would like to welcome Soshi, and we can say goodbye. Bye.
Hi everyone. You can't hug your friends anymore, but you can still give yourself some love, or you can practice how to blow hugs. Mwah, 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 mwah. And until next time, bye.
Thank you so much, Teacher Guridas. You are a star. I wish I was taught by you for syllables and homophones. Now we're heading right into the grade 5. So grade 5s, make sure you're ready, make sure your snacks are out there, your pencils are sharpened, as we're gonna learn about signs. And guess what? The topic is, it's about the human development. So you're gonna learn more about the body, and teacher Siteketa will be gracing us with her presence. So over to you, teacher Siteketa.
Good morning, boys and girls all over Namibia, and welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Miss Irene Siteketa. With me in the studio, I have our good friend, Chanel. Welcome, Chanel, to our class. So before we start with our lesson today, boys and girls, Chanel, let's take our sanitizer. We spray it on our hands. Then we sanitize our hands. Let's make sure that we rub palm to palm, between our fingers, behind the palms. Chanel, the thumb, make sure that you rub it thoroughly. And then let's try to see if we are keeping a social distance. Very good, well done. So our topic today, the theme is human development, and our topic is physical developments or changes. Okay, so today, let's look at our competences, Chanel. Our competences are: list the physical changes in maturing boys and girls. Explain the kinds of changes which occurs in maturing boys and girls. So, and we are going to look at secondary sexual characteristics only. Explain their physical developments and appreciate these important steps towards adulthood. Our vocabularies are maturity, being fully developed, and ready to reproduce. Physical changes, these are changes that can be seen in humans during their growth. Secondary sex characteristics are features that are appearing during puberty in humans and sexually maturity. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Chanel, so let's look at page 14. We are looking at puberty. What is puberty, Chanel? Puberty is the stage in the human life cycle when the sexual organs mature for reproduction. In short, we say puberty is the time when boys and girls change into men and women. So underneath puberty, you can see there's a picture. That picture is trying to illustrate some of the changes that we undergo during puberty. Now, Chanel, let's go to page 15. On page 15, we start with our first competence. Boys and girls, let me tell you, competences are the questions. When we give you competences, we are giving you the possible questions that will come on the topic. Number one, list physical changes in maturing boys and girls. So let's look at the picture. What happens to girls during puberty? Chanel, are you with me? Good. Let's look at the face. You may get pimples or acne. Sweat, you have to experience sweat under your armpits. Menstruation or periods begins. Height, you get taller. Breast, the breast will grow or develop. Hair, you will be able to grow hair in your armpits, on your legs, and also on your private parts. Now, let's look at puberty or at boys. What happened to boys during puberty? Height, they also get taller, just like girls. Face, you may get pimples. And then in addition to pimples with boys, so they will also start developing facial hair. Private, your penis and testicles get bigger. Voice, your voice deepens or it becomes deeper. Sweat, your armpits will sweat or sweat increases. Hair will grow on your face, as I said earlier, on your arms, legs, chest, and between your legs or on your private parts. Chanel, are you still with me? Fine. Boys and girls, we look at our second competence that says, explain the kinds of physical changes which occurs in maturing boys and girls. And remember, we are only looking at secondary sexual characteristics. So let's start with boys. The question is, explain. So we have listed already the changes. Now we have to explain them. Height and muscle growth. How do we explain them? You will get taller and stronger and start to grow muscles. Acne or pimples, you may develop acne. This is a condition of the skin that shows up as bumps, most commonly on the face. Voice changes, your voice will get deeper. Hair growth, body hair starts to grow around your armpit, your face, your chest, your private parts, legs, and arms. Sweating increases. Broadening of the shoulder due to the enlargement of muscles. Let's look at girls. Body hair starts to grow around your armpit, private parts, legs, and arms. Hips becomes widened. Menstruation or periods begin. Now let's go to page 16. Chanel, page 16. Breast develops and increase in size. Sweating increases. Acne and pimples, you may develop acne. As we said earlier, this is a condition of the skin that show up as bumps, mostly common on the face. Height, definitely you will get taller. That is an increase in height. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, boys and girls. So now we look at our last competence that says, explain the physical development and appreciate these important steps towards adulthood. Chanel, are you there on page 16? Well, so when you look at the pictures, that picture is trying to show you the different stages that we undergo as we grow. So now, in life, as it says there, it's normal for physical changes to occur or to happen during puberty. Always focus on good things about your life and what you can do to others. You don't need to be scared. You don't need to be ashamed of the changes that is happening to you. Eat healthy food, exercise regularly, and get enough sleep. Talk to someone about these changes. It will help you understand them better. Let's move to page 17, Chanel, and boys and girls all over Namibia. Good. Here's a self-assessment for you. Try to see if you really studied or learned something in today's lesson. So it says, list and explain the physical changes shown with the lines on the pictures below. So the first picture there, it's showing you puberty in females or in girls. Now, when you look at that girl, there are lines drawn on her. And these lines are showing you the different changes that happens on each and every part of the body where the line is drawn. All that you need to do is you go back to your notes. You can also make use of your textbook that you are using at your school, and then you try to see what is that change, and then you just write it down. Good. When you're done with a girl, you go to males, which is a boy. You also do the same. Look at the lines. Where is that line pointing? And then you write the change. Boys and girls, we have come to the end of our lesson today. But before we go, Chanel, let's take our sanitizer once again. We spray our hands. We sanitize thoroughly between the fingers, behind the hands, Chanel, the thumb. Until next time, bye-bye.
Hi everyone. You can't hug your friends anymore, but you can still give yourself some love, or you can practice how to blow hugs. Mwah, 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 mwah. And until next time, bye!
so much, Teacher Siteketa. Isn't it wonderful how the human body works and how one system cannot function with the other? So with that said, let us make sure that we take care of our bodies and that we stay active, stay healthy, and stay calm, as the theme for this week is staying calm. By doing that, also let us make sure that we keep our social distancing, make sure that no one is inside, no one is inside, and no one is in front of you. And let us also remember to sanitize and to wash our hands for at least 20 seconds. All right, now we're moving to grade 6, and Teacher Ananias will be gracing us with his presence, and will be taught about the human body again, about the human development. So let us see what Teacher Ananias has in store for us.
Hello everyone, welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Mr. Mario Athanasio Ananias. Let's welcome our friend Clarice. Let's not forget to sanitize our hands. And then we keep the distancing. Put on our mask. And our topic for today is human body. Dear learners, we said our topic for today is human body, but we're specifically looking at the breathing system. We are on page 19. Our competencies for today are: we will learn how to identify and label the structures of breathing system. We will also learn to describe the functions of the following parts: nasal cavity, voice box, windpipe, ribs, and diaphragm. We're also going to learn how to describe the path of air through the parts of the breathing system, or how to demonstrate it. And then we're also going to learn how to explain inhaling and exhaling processes with reference to the ribs and the diaphragm. Before we go in details of our lesson, let's look at the common words that are used in this system, which is breathing system. The first word is inhaling. What is inhaling? Inhaling means the process of breathing the air into your body. It means the air is getting into your body. Exhaling is the process of breathing out the air from your body, meaning that the air that you breathe in the first place has now to go out of your body. And what is a system? A system is a group of organs working together to perform important jobs for the body. It means we are having different parts of your body which are working together for the same function. A system is actually combined of different parts. One part of the body cannot make a system, but it has to be more than one to be a system. Those are the words that are commonly used in breathing system. Let's get started. We say that our first competency is to identify and label the structure of the breathing system. So our bodies are made up of different parts, but those body parts don't belong to a certain system. They belong to various systems. So for today, we are going to learn which parts belong to the breathing system and where are they situated in our bodies. The very first part that we have to know is that it's a nasal cavity. Nasal cavity, we can't see it, okay? You can't see it or you can't touch it either because it's inside. It's actually between, we can say in your head, but it's between your nose and your windpipe, okay? When you breathe in, the air has to go to the nasal cavity. It's after the nose, okay? So the nasal cavity is the one that you feel blocked when you're having flu. The second part is the nose. The nose is outside of our body. It's on our face. We can all touch it. Mine, you can't see, it's covered by the mask. And then we have the mouth. The mouth, we all know it, is the one that we are using when we speak. Right now, when I'm speaking, I have to use my mouth. That's one of the parts that we use to breathe. For example, when you run or when you're having flu, for example, you realize that you normally breathe through your mouth. Okay? Number 4, larynx, and then that one, We can also not see it, but it's between the windpipe and the nasal cavity, just a spot in there which is close to your voice box. And then number 5, we have the left lung. We have lungs. One has to be on the left and the other one has to be on the right. And then number 5 is actually the lungs on your left-hand side. 6, we have the diaphragm. Diaphragm is situated underneath your lungs. Is a muscle which is actually based underneath your lungs, which controls the movement of air inside and outside. And then we have the throat. Throat, which we can maybe say also it's a wind. If you look at number 7, throat is actually after the mouth. When you're breathing through the mouth, the air goes into your throat before it's reached to the lungs. And then we have esophagus. Esophagus is not actually important for breathing system. It's normally for eating or digestive system. Then we have the trachea. The trachea is actually normally called the windpipe as well. Some people prefer to call it trachea. Some people prefer to call it a windpipe. That's what you feel hard. It starts from your neck. It goes down to the lungs. Okay, and then we also have the right lung. As I've said before, we have 2 lungs. One is on your right, and the other one has to be on your left. And then we have the bronchi. The bronchi is actually also in your lungs. Those are the branches after the trachea that are in your lungs. Okay, capillaries. Those are the small blood vessels that help breathing or carrying air to the other parts of the body. We have venule. Venule, if you check number 13, those are the small pieces that we can't normally see. And even if you see lungs of an animal, you won't be able to see them because they are very, very small. And they are within the lungs. Okay? Arterioles, those are blood vessels. And bronchioles and alveoles, those are all small, tiny particles or small, tiny parts of our lungs that we can't see. They are very, very small. That's why even if you look there, they have made it actually a little bit bigger for you. Okay? So we continue on page 20. On page 20, we are going to look at the main functions of main parts of the breathing system. Okay? So on the previous page, we have looked at different parts, but we have just made it broader for you to have a broader understanding of the breathing system. But now we're specifically looking at the main parts of the system and their functions. Okay? So every part of our body, just not there to decorate us or make us look cute or beautiful, but each part of our body has a specific function that it has to perform on our body. And we are starting with the nasal cavity as part of the breathing system. Why should we have a nasal cavity? The nasal cavity is there to trap dust and smoke particles from air during inhalation. We have already described know the meaning of the word inhalation. We said it's the breathing in of the air. Now, we might find ourselves in dirty environments, so which are dusty or having smoke. Now, the nasal cavity is just there to make sure that the air that we breathe in, the dust and all those unwanted particles in the air do not go down until our lungs. Okay? That's why you realize that if you go to places that are scenty or places that are dusty, places that are having smoke, you realize that at the end of the day, you might end up having flu. So that flu is a result of the nasal cavity holding those heavy particles that were actually in the air that you breathe in. So it has collected all those dust that are not needed to enter your body, just to let the air in, and then the dust remain. Then we have the voice box. The voice box is just there for the production of sound, okay? If I was not having a voice box, you wouldn't hear me speaking, because the voice box is the one that has to make sure that my sound is produced and come out as we are hearing it. We have the windpipe. As it says, we have the word wind, okay, and we have the word pipe. These two words join together and then have the function of carrying air from the nasal cavity or carrying air from the mouth to the lungs during inhalation process, and also carry air from the lungs to the mouth or the nose during exhalation process. Okay? We are saying that it has two jobs. It actually certain one function, but it works in two ways. It helps the air, or it carries the air to go down to the lungs from the mouth and the nose. And at the same time, when you're breathing out, it helps the air to move from the lungs to the mouth and the nose. We can say that the windpipe is a connection between the outside parts of our breathing system and the inside part of our breathing system. Then we move on to the next part of our breathing system, which is the ribs. Ribs change the shape of our chest and protect the lungs. So here we are mentioning two functions of the ribs. The ribs are there to protect, for protection, to make sure that whatever hits you on the sides or from the back or from the front doesn't harm the inside part of you, which actually part of your chest, which are lungs. And then also to make sure that when you are breathing in, it shapes up our chest to make sure that the accommodation of the air that we breathe in is enough or created. The last part of the breathing system that we are going to look at in terms of the functions, we are looking at the diaphragm. The diaphragm controls the movement of air inside and outside the lungs, the body. Okay? So the diaphragm, as I've said it earlier, it's underneath our lungs. It moves either up, forming a V, or it flattens underneath our lungs. So when it flattens, it creates enough space for the lungs to settle down and have enough air. But when it's forming a V facing down, it forces the air in our lungs to go out. So which makes it possible for us either to breathe in or to breathe out. I hope you have an understanding now of the functions of those parts. We are moving on, same page, which is 20. Now we are looking at, as we have now looked at the main parts of the breathing system and their functions, now we are looking at how are those parts of the breathing system work together, as we are looking at how does air move from outside our body until it goes inside our body, until the point of us breathing out that air outside our bodies. We are saying that the air is outside in our environment. That's the air that we need to breathe in, having enough oxygen that we need in our bodies. That oxygen-rich air from the environment enter our bodies through the nose, okay? And then it goes through the nasal cavity. When it goes to the nasal cavity, before it goes down again, it goes to pharynx, and then it goes to trachea, bronchi, bronchial, alveoli. And then that's now inside the lungs, alveolus. And then now, oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange. So oxygen goes into the body, and carbon dioxide, which is in the body, has to go to the lungs. And then what happens? Carbon dioxide, which is not needed in our body, it now starts to move from the lungs to the other parts of the body, which are part of the breathing system, until it goes out. So it's bronchial, the bronchi, the trachea, pharynx, nasal cavities. Carbon dioxide, which is not needed in our body, it goes into the atmosphere through the nose or through the mouth. In short, we are saying that when we are breathing, it's actually a two-way process. The air going in and the air going out. When the air is going in, it starts with our nose and it ends with our lungs. But when we are breathing out, it starts with our lungs and it ends with our nose and the mouth. Okay? We are continuing. We are going now to have a little bit of a deeper explanation in terms of inhalation and exhalation process in reference to the ribs and the diaphragm. And then I'm going to explain this a little bit on the board. So we are saying that we are going to explain inhaling and exhaling with the reference of the ribs and the diaphragm. It says rib cage expands as rib muscles contract. I'm going to have two different pictures, but you have to be careful. They might look the same, but their sizes will look different, and I will explain reasons why those pictures have different sizes. Okay? So, just a rough drawing. Okay, I have that. And I have that. Okay. So I want to make sure that the chest part is the one that's looking different. Okay. Those two, I can see the difference here and here. Those are my differences when it comes to the sizes of the pictures. Then here are the ribs in your body. Now, we are going to explain what causes the side of our chest, okay, to be different. What causes, why is it important that our chest have different sizes during the process of breathing? We are starting with inhaling process. Inhaling process, our chest has to expand or become bigger. Then we have to ask ourselves a question, why should our chest become bigger when we're breathing in? Okay? Every time when you're putting something somewhere, you need space for that. Okay? So when we are breathing in, it means that we are adding something in our body. And then because of that, we should have enough space for the air that you are breathing in. So this is the reason why our chest, where are the lungs that are important for the breathing system, the chest has to expand, making sure that there is enough space for the air that you are breathing in. If the expansion of the chest doesn't happen, it's going to be difficult for you to have that air that you are taking into your body. Okay? So that's why sometimes you can see somebody laying on the ground, or you can see a dog laying on the ground, but for you to see that that dog or that somebody is breathing, you look at the chest. You don't even look at the feet or don't look at the head. We all have this kind of knowledge about this breathing system. You have to look at the chest because the side of the chest should change in the sense that the air goes in, having enough space. The expansion which is needed here is to accommodate the air which is coming from the environment and goes into our body. So when the air comes here, now it will settle in our chest, making sure that the space is enough. Now, we are going to exhalation. Air out. Why should the chest become smaller? Okay? Why the chest has to become smaller during the exhalation process? We are saying that now I have to empty this air from my chest or from my lungs. Okay? So as we said, the diaphragm, which is underneath my lungs, it moves, forming kind of a V shape, going between my lungs. Remember we said we are having the left lungs and then the right lungs. The diaphragm squeeze moving up and forces the air in my lungs, then that air starts to go out. Okay? So when I try to empty something from a container, the space inside becomes smaller because what was inside is no more there. Making sure that now my chest had to shrink a little bit or become smaller a little bit because the air which was inside have moved out. But here, the diaphragm have to flatten underneath my lungs, making sure that the lungs settle down to make sure that the enough air is within the lungs. Okay? So let me show you a little bit with just a plastic on what happens when we're breathing. Okay? So we don't need something fancy to explain this. I'm starting with air in, which is inhalation process, okay? Excuse, I have to remove my mask a little bit because I'm doing this explanation. So, this is the environment, and the air has to go in. This is the body of a human being. Now, the air went in, the chest got bigger because the air that I breathed in from the environment. That's breathing in. Breathing out, we say that the diaphragm is underneath your lungs, squeeze the air outside the lungs. My hand is going to act as a diaphragm. The diaphragm now forces the air outside the lungs. Looking at the differences when I breathe in, my plastic, which is I'm using as lungs, it was bigger, but when I squeezed as a diaphragm, it became smaller. Meaning that when we are breathing in, our chest or our body become bigger to make sure that there's enough space for the air, but when we're breathing out, our chest becomes smaller to make sure that the air is actually squeezed out of our body. Let's go back to our booklet. Okay? We are still on page 20. So, air inhaled, okay? You can see that the size of the lungs on the picture, which is on our left-hand side, and then the size of the lungs, which is on the picture on the right-hand side, the sizes are not the same. As I've explained earlier, on the left-hand side, we need enough space for the air. Then the lungs have to look a little bit bigger. If you look at the shapes of the diaphragm on the picture on the left and also on the picture on the right, the one that is on the right looks more like a rainbow. It's more curving, meaning that it's shaping up in a sense that it's pushing the lungs up, which is making it possible for the lungs to release the air out of the body. But the one which is on the left, it looks a little bit flat compared to the one on the right, making it possible for the lungs to settle down a little bit to make sure that there's enough air into our body. So that's why if you have seen somebody who has been running or doing some exercises, if you look at the person's chest, okay, the shape of the chest change in the sense that you can notice the changes, okay? The sides change in a bigger range to make sure that because I've been using my energy or I've been using up my air, I need enough oxygen as fast or as much as I can. That's why our chest, after running, it changes the size of our chest becomes so big in a sense that we have enough air in our body. Okay? The picture on our right, which shows that the air that exhaled, it shows that when we're breathing out, the lungs become a little bit smaller, and the diaphragm become more curved to make sure that the air gets out of our body. I hope you have been following dear learners, and then we are going now to test our knowledge if you have understood what you have been doing in class for today. So now we are moving to page 21, assessment part. What do we want you to do for us to test your understanding? We want you to identify and label parts of the breathing system. Okay, we are having them 1 up to 16. We have looked at them already, all of them. We want you now to say, number 1, what is it? Number 2, what is it? Until number 16. That's question 1. Question 2, copy all the parts or organs from question 1 and complete the table below by describing the function of the following organs. So we are not here. Let's not do all of them, but we are only going to look at few. We are going only to look at nasal cavity, lungs, diaphragm, nose, and the mouth. You don't have to put all. Looking at the table there, it doesn't have up to number 16, but you're only going to look at the basic one that you have looked at, the functions that we have previously discussed, which is nasal cavity, voice box, windpipe, ribs, and the diaphragm. Those are the ones that they've looked at the functions. You don't have to give the functions that I haven't looked at today. You only give the functions that we have learned today. Question 3. Explain the path of air through the parts of the breathing system. Well, we want you now to explain what happens or which parts of the body or breathing system are involved through breathing, either you're breathing in or breathing out. Explain all the details, all the spots, all the points that air have to pass until it goes where it has to go and until it comes out, until it leaves our body parts. Question 4, explaining inhaling and exhaling with the reference of the ribs and the diaphragm. We want you now to explain to us what happens to the ribs and what happens to the diaphragm during the process of breathing. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. We'll see each other again next time. Let's not forget to sanitize our hands. So keeping our mask on, observing the social distancing, and we wish you a very good day. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone. You can't hug your friends anymore, but you can still give yourself some love, or you can practice how to blow hugs. Mwah, 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 mwah. And until next time, bye!
Thank you so much, Teacher Ananias. That was an informative lesson. A round of applause to all the teachers. Thank you for putting in so much effort and caring for us while we're at home. Before I say goodbye, we'll head right into the regions, and we have Teacher Da Silva, which will share her word for the booklet, how the process has been happening, and also look at one of the interviews with Teacher Ogas from St. Andrews Primary School. Until then, it's bye-bye from me. Remember to stay active, to stay calm, and to sanitize. Mwah, mwah. Bye!
Okay, Mr. Silva, can you just briefly tell us as to what is your take on the distribution of the booklets by the Ministry of Education?
Okay, the booklets which are collecting from the Ministry of Education, they are helpful. They are also in addition to the learning which is taking place at different schools. But then here at Rondo Christian School, we are using it as a revision because we did the work already last term.
Okay.
So since we are giving the e-learning and we are moving forward, looking to the syllabus, so the booklets we are only using it as a revision. When we are giving activities to the parents, we are also adding those booklets as well as an additional activity for the learners.
And in terms of the parents' response to come and collect, how is it?
We did not receive any negative response. They are all positive response. It's really helping them.
Okay. And what is your message maybe to the parents for both private schools, learners at private schools and public schools in terms of this material? What should they do?
For the materials, we should really look at the materials and make use of them. We should just not collect for the sake of collecting it.
Yes.
You can make even a copy with it and then you go through with your child. That is for the parents now. You go through with the child. If maybe the child doesn't understand, you can still communicate with the teacher to explain. Because if we keep on like with this, in the situation where we are, and then the learners are not doing anything, when they come back at school, it will be more difficult because that is the revision that we're supposed even to do.
Okay.
So we'll start again from scratch. But now the ministry, at least it has helped us to meet us halfway, whereby parents, they can also go back to the things that we did last term to help their kids as well.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Silva.
Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Joseph and thank you so much for tuning in to yet another very exciting and jam-packed episode of the MyZone Online Learning School. So let's please sanitize our hands, friends. You know that this is what we always do in MyZone Studio. You can ask Zoshi, he knows all about it. So get into your hands, make sure every single part of your hands are sanitized. All right, you guys might be wondering who's my lovely guest to my left. You guys know MyZone always has the best guests. So I'm not going to introduce her, she's going to do that herself, and then she's going to take us through her journey here at NMH. Hi ma'am, how are you?
Hi, my name is Priscan Ogas. I'm a teacher at St. Andrews Primary School, and I have been part of this production, which was very exciting from day one. When I was approached to be part of it, it was a scary experience because I've never done something like this in my life, and but the grace of God got me through this weeks that we were part of it. The first time when I entered the studio or the recording studio, it was really a scary experience, but everybody that was part of the production team, they were really welcoming and friendly, and they were there from start to the end, showing us what to do and how to go about this. But most importantly, the exciting part of this was, even though it was sort of scary, it's all about the children, the Namibian children. And in the beginning, I sort of was reluctant to do this, but when I thought about all the children that could not have a face-to-face teaching during this time of COVID-19, it was really a sore experience for me, and I really wanted to help. And when I was approached to be part of this team, it was really an opportunity for me to be part of it and to help the children online, to teach them what some of them already know what we were doing. This is just sort of assessment of what they knew, and the lessons that we presented online. I believe that it got to most of the children throughout Namibia, and the remarks from the parents and the comments that I got from most of the parents that went on YouTube and saw these presentations were really amazed of the good work that we did. And I hope that all the parents will really view into this MyZone online online teaching lessons, and it's for the Namibian children, by the Namibian teachers, and also worldwide. If anyone that is at home having a child, you can just tune in and see what wonderful work all the teachers have done. It was a great experience, and I enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm very glad to hear that, ma'am.
Yes.
It really warms my heart to see teachers that are still very passionate about making sure that the child gets the quality education that they deserve and that they need.
Yes.
So maybe if there's just to round everything off, just a message that you'd like to leave with your learners.
My message is that I know this is really a difficult time for each and every one of us, and we are planning to have face-to-face teaching, but still make use of this opportunity. Ask mommy and daddy to tune into this on YouTube, on MyZone Online School, and see what we have done. If you've not made use of it, make use of it. Go in, tune in, comment, like, and share, and see all the wonderful lessons that we have produced on this platform.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me in studio, ma'am, and you guys as well. So from us in studio, till next time, it's bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.